Hey everyone, I want to welcome you to 2024 DragonCon Swag and Seek podcast. My name is Kevin Torres and I'll be the moderator for this panel. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I first started coming to DragonCon in 2009, but didn't discover Swag and Seek until 2018. And as soon as I went to the very first event that I attended, I was hooked. I call it trick-or-treating on steroids, but it's way better than trick-or-treating because swag lasts longer than candy and it's way cooler. So let me introduce you to the leaders of Swag and Seek. So from Florida, we have Miss Francesca Genovese.
Hi.
And then from Louisiana, we have Miss Alex Cannon. And then from Georgia, we have Miss Maria Potter. So let's start off with a little bit about history. Where did this group come from? Because it is, no kidding, a phenomena and sensation about DragonCon. So Francesca, can you tell us a brief history of Swag and Seek?
Sure. So Swag and Seek was a total accident. My husband and I were going to Atlanta for our first excursion away after becoming parents for the first time. And we were going to DragonCon. So I thought, I'm going to be missing my son. It was like our first sole trip away from him. So I thought, let me make up some little treat bags, like little goodie bags for the kids. And so my idea was, if I saw a kid that was dressed up in cute little cosplay, or any like cute little kid that I came across, I'd give him a little goodie bag. And I thought maybe that would like help me with missing my son. And so I think I found one of the Facebook groups that probably unofficial, and I went on and said, hey, I want to do this. Do you think that that would be okay? And I got a response that said, oh yeah, you know what? I bring stuff too. And then I got another response that said, oh, you know what? I always do that. I bring stuff that relates to my cosplay, and I give stuff out the whole weekend. And pretty soon that thread started to grow, and then it got huge. And I think when I checked back on it at one point, it was kind of out of control. Like, I mean, it had become its own entity. So I don't know, on a whim, I was like, let me make this thread its own space to exist, because it seems like it's a thing. And it'd be cool if people could say, hey, I'm bringing this. This is where you can find me. Or just so you know, I have this if you see me. And so I made a group, a separate Facebook group. I named it the stupidest name ever. I don't know where I came up with Swag and Seek, but that's what came out when I typed it. And I just made it and then left it alone. And I think I remember like taking a nap and then rolling over and checking my phone and seeing like 800 people had joined. And I remember almost freaking out a little bit, like, I got to delete this thing. I don't want to be in charge of this. Like, what did I do?
Yeah.
But I left it because I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure it's fine. And I didn't even tell Tim about it. I think I just kind of let it be. And it was just evolving on its own. And then by the time we got to Atlanta, it was like over 1,000 people that were talking about it. And people had started saying, well, you know what? I'm going to bring stuff now. I'm going to bring stuff now. And it just kind of existed on its own in that way. I didn't really do anything for a year, you know. The only thing I think I did every once in a while was just kind of come on and say like, hey, do you guys have plans for next year? Do you want to bring anything next year? And it wasn't until Alex messaged me and said, Pete, this is a thing now. And you need to, these people want to meet up. These people want to see each other and talk to each other. And this is a big deal now. And I was like, no, it's not. Nobody needs to meet. It's fine. And she's like, no. It is a big deal. And I can help you with this. I can do this. This is what I do. And I said, okay, if you think that you can do this, I'm going to put my trust in you, woman I never met from Louisiana, and go ahead. Let's try to organize something. And that's where that first meetup, that's when we became a group.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just amazing. So it is more than just swag, right? So tell us a little bit about the mission, intentions, goals.
So, well, the whole thing is really that we do this without the expectation of return. It's a random act of kindness movement. It kind of evolved off of the back of that those hidden rock painted rock movements where people were painting little stones and rocks and hiding them around the city and just kind of doing that to bring joy. So this kind of is in the same vein, only it's little trinkets, stuff of small monetary value, keychains, stickers, little friendship bracelets, things like that. And this is all just to kind of spread joy and kindness, not to get anything in return necessarily, but just to bring a little bit more joy, friendliness, openness to the convention.
Yes, I love that. And for me, I mean, I think all of us could use some kindness and receive a little bit more joy in our life.
Yes.
Right. So I am personally looking forward to just 7 weeks away. Alex, can you tell us a little bit about the meetups? What, when, what can we expect?
Okay, so we have we know that con is 5 days, but technically con now starts on Wednesday, so it's 6 days. So we have daily meetups scheduled. So we first started off Wednesday night with Alex Swag and Seek Hilton Hangout. That's going to be in the Hilton lobby in the market area. Usually it's where the Tardis usually is, but we haven't seen the Tardis in a little bit of time. So that's where it'll be. And that's going to start it's going to be an event for 1 hour, and it's from 6 to 7 Eastern. So that's our first meetup. And this is an adult meetup. So if you want to bring your kids, just know that adult swag will be there. So we just want y'all aware of that. And then we will have our official meetup on Thursday, but I want to come back to that one because that one's a little bit more involved. So, I'm going to move on to our Friday meetup, which is Maria's Marriott meetup. And that one's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. also Eastern. It's on the 10th floor. This is also a adult meetup. Can bring kids, but we're just saying there will be adult swag. And then Saturday we have our founder, Francesca's meetup, which is a pop-up meetup. So time and location will be decided the weekend of con after she gets a chance to look at the schedule.
All right.
So
No commitment.
Mystery.
Then we have Sunday. Oh, there's a lot I have to say. I'm sorry. Okay. Then we have Sunday, which is Brandon and Michael's Swag Social. Okay. And this is at the Westin. It's in the lobby near the Starbucks. And theirs is an hour and a half. And it's from 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. I was looking at that wrong. And that is also Eastern. This one is kid friendly. Also, Francesca's is too. I didn't mention that. So family friendly. Bring your kids. You can bring adult swag, but just be prepared. Don't give it to the kids, and make sure you talk to people before you hand it out. Let's see. And then our last meetup is Monday, and this is our send off your swag with the swag, which with me. Usually last year we had our fellow John Stone journeyman who did this one, but I'm going to be taking the reins this year. And basically this one is from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's 1 hour Eastern. Location is by the Pulse Bar at the Marriott, and this is also kid friendly. And this one's basically, if you don't want to bring any of your swag home with you, you can come give it to us, and then we'll donate it to DC volunteers, and we're going to hand it to them, and they can give it out to the DC staff. Will give it out to their actual volunteers and whatnot. And this is kid friendly, but if you have adult swag that you want to donate, just tell an admin and we'll make sure it goes to the right people. Okay, so all these meetups are in, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. All these meetups are in public places at the 5 host hotels. They're pretty laid back. Please note that the times may change, but currently these are the ones that we have in place. And also, so let me go back. Thursday, I didn't mention this one. This is our official DC panel, It will be on the DC app. So for the past couple of years, it has been from 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. This is a 2.5-hour event. We'll be located at the Hilton Grand East Ballroom. So basically this one's has a little bit more of a organized structure. There will be a line. We're not going to be in a public place. We actually have a room. So you don't need to get swag, I mean. So this one's basically set up is that the doors will probably open around 6:45, 7. We do suggest that if you want to be the first ones in the room, get there early so you can make sure you're in the line. When I say to get in the room, we have we have like a 15 to 20 minute talk. So if you want to be the first ones that hear that our little spiel and whatnot, we do suggest get there a little bit early so you're in the line. The doors will shut for a little while, and then they'll probably reopen. Once people start leaving the room and whatnot, they'll reopen because we're not shutting down the whole room. We want everybody who shows up to be able to get in the room and give each other swag. So this is where you'll find, we'll be handing out swag bags. We'll have door prizes. Oh, and we're also doing every year I do a DC volunteer donation box. So if you like to bring swag and drop it off in the box, that'd be great. We'll have usually we divide up the stuff we get and we drop it off at the 2 volunteer villages that they have. They have one at the Westin and then one at the Marriott, and we do that usually on Friday. So basically, once you enter the room and you hear a little speech and you can give each other swag and whatnot, the only line inside the room after we do our little talk is there'll be a little admin table where we all sit and we give our gifts. So if you walk in and you're like, okay, there's a line, that's what the line is. It's us giving everyone gifts. So
also our official ribbons and buttons will be there.
Oh, that too. I did not write that on my note, so I forgot about that. And I mentioned the door prizes. Yeah. Anything else? Did I forget anything?
I think you covered it all.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it was a lot to say, so I have a note. But yeah, but if you show up and you see a line at the door, do not get discouraged. We had 1,000 people in the room.
A little over, yeah.
Oh, over 2 hours. So just the first half hour is going to be a little bit, you're going to see a big line, but just wait it out and you'll be able to get in. So, and like I said, you do not need swag to come get swag. We're all about, I drew a blank. What is our phrase?
Giving without the expectation of return.
Thank you. I was like, I say this all year long and I just drew a blank. Okay, thank you for that. So, yeah, so I think I'm done. I don't think I forgot anything. And if I did.
No, that's great. A lot to participate in. Come to one, come to all, right? So I noticed on the Facebook group, there was a call for donations. Maria, can you share some information? Give us an update on that.
Yes. So as of now, we have 2 days left until the donation deadline. But once this goes live, it'll have already passed. But we are only $250 from our goal. We are so excited about that.
Yes.
So basically, the donations go towards getting swag bags that we can hand out at our main event. So basically, this is what, from 2 years ago, this is what our swag bag looks like. Really cool. And so basically, people can use those as something to carry their swag in or something to show other people that they're part of the group. And our goal is to get about 900 to be able to give out during our Thursday panel. The money also goes towards badge ribbons and buttons and fun things with our logo on it, just so people can have something that's swag and seek, but also to show people that they're a part of the movement. Maybe get some people to ask what swag and seek and, spread the message. But we're really grateful for everybody's generosity. It's amazing how quickly people jumped on and they're like, hey, we want to help. We want to help. So because of our members, we're going to be able to spread even more kindness. And we're just so excited about all that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I can't wait. So one of the things that I like the most about Swag and Seek is that DragonCon is this huge event, right? 60, 70 plus thousand people. And what for me, Swag and Seek does is it takes that humongous crowd and it makes it small and it makes it personal. And you get to meet people. And I've been able to build relationships now for many years. And so I'd like to ask each of you, what do you like most about Swag and Seek? We'll start with Alex.
I love the creativity of everyone and just seeing what everyone makes with their swag. I mean, you don't have to make swag, you don't have to make items, but I just love how people come up with really cool ideas to give out with their cosplays and whatnot. And then just the whole idea that people take time to do this, to give this to strangers. Like that's what I love about it.
Oh yes, I love that as well. Francesca.
I just love the excuse to actually make a bunch of stuff and have people that are so excited to get it. You know, we all kind of do that, I think, being sort of nerdy folks. We like to like make stuff or share our collections, and not everybody in our life is always like super receptive of it. But DragonCon weekend, you know, we go and everybody wants what we have, you know, like they're all super receptive and thankful and excited to see these little items that we've worked hard on or put thought into to gather and collect and give out.
Yep. And Maria, how about you? What do you most like?
I think the community is the best part for me. Like I've gotten to know so many amazing people and just seeing how generous and excited people are. Like there have been people actually, even in my town, which is not Atlanta, recognize me. Be like, oh my gosh, you do Swag and Seek. This group means so much to us. And that's just such a big deal to have people say, you know, we feel safe here, we feel special here. You know, it's a way to get me to get out of my comfort zone and talk to people. Like it's really amazing what it's done for our community.
Yeah, I love that. So let's do a little bit of show and tell. So I've got a couple of things here to share. So my wife came up with this idea of how to display and store swag. And so this is a mason jar from 2018. And I didn't know anything. What about it? I was just showing up and getting swag. And I love swag. I don't care what it is. I don't know what it is. I just want it all. But then this is my swag jar for 2022. And I was a rookie then, but I'm a pro now. So there are so many cool things, like you guys were saying, about how creative people are and how generous folks are in giving things.
I love
So
that idea.
so how about you? What show and tell do you have?
Oh, okay. So one thing I think is kind of neat about this is you see these ideas and you're just like, how did they come up with that? You know, and some of these items are super elaborate and people are 3D printing stuff and they're sculpting things, and some of them are so simple and you're just like, yes, that's great. And one of the things that stuck out to me that resonated with me in that way was something that was sent to me when I was on maternity leave. I didn't go to I didn't go to DragonCon that year, but these lovely ladies were sweet enough to put out a founder's box and then send me the swag that I missed. And in the box was this safety pin, and it's just a little beaded safety pin. And just like little colorful beads strung on the safety pin. And it just was like, that's the most adorable thing. And it's made out of like stuff that a lot of people probably have like laying around their house or left over. But I don't know, I was just so appreciative of this little thing. And I think that, you know, sometimes it's really cool to get, you know, these fancy dice or some really cool, you know, elaborate item. But sometimes it's these little like simple items that are like the coolest little things. And I've kept this for, you know, 3 years now.
Yes, that's awesome. Maria, do you have some show and tell for us?
I have several. I went a little overboard. So for me, I love to make stuff. And actually how I met Francesca was we were in the rock group, and I had put up a little post saying, you know, I make these dragon eggs,
Oh yeah.
and I've been handing them out for years, since before Swag and Seed. And so I put them out on the page, and Francesca's like, "Oh, hey, I just started this group." And I'm like, "Cool, that's my speed." But also I make Marriott carpet keys.
Oh yes.
I also make other things with the Marriott carpet uh, pattern, but I'm not revealing all of those yet.
Uh-huh.
And a little note, so there's a lot of times where people are like, "Hey, I like your pattern," or "I like what you came up with here. Can I have it? Can I use it?" And that's great. Like if we want to share, like I actually did a dragon egg tutorial at one point because people were asking, but it's also okay to say no, because if it's your thing, like if you worked on it, it's okay, you know? But also, my favorite tradition is Tanya, one of our members, would come and bring me an eyeball rose every year. This
Mhm,
is my favorite swag tradition.
mhm.
Maria
And I
loves
have to
all the
say,
eyeball swag.
oh,
Man.
anything eyeball. Like I think it's funny as heck.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
There's lots of fandoms going on in Swag and Seek. Alex, do you have some show and tell for us?
I do. Okay. So I mentioned John Stone, one of our members who makes wands, and one year I think 20, I don't remember what year he gave me this wand. It has fleur-de-lis on it.
Oh, that's so pretty. I've never seen that one before.
Oh, you have? Yeah, I don't think you were there
No.
that year. It was funny because he came up to me and was giving me two wands, and because he was giving one to my partner, and he's like, "Okay, lady gets to pick first," and I immediately was like, I want the one with the fleur-de-lis." And I don't
Yep.
remember the other one. I think it's on the
Yep.
shelf, but yeah. So there's that, and then a lot of members also. So these are from 2 different years, but they're this art
Oh, what's it called?
Perlers. I couldn't
Perlers.
think of the name. So he's actually my trees topper. That's why there's a bag looped on.
Aw.
But this is Uncle Iroh, and he came with the with the tile with the coin from Avatar. And I don't know what I did with the coin. It's in a box. It's safe. It's just I have my stuff stashed all over the house. And then this one was last year because I believe Teresa gave me this. I hope I got your name right. She heard me over say that I love because somebody handed me something Care Bear and overheard me say Care Bear, and then she made these and made sure I got one at our meetup. She's like, "No," I was like, "How did you know?" She's like, "I heard you talking about it." So, and okay, sorry, I have a couple of things, and then there was a gentleman last year I met Wednesday night, not at our meetup, at After Everything, and he was walking around. He made like 20 of these 3D printed. All the different various colors of the lantern rings. Can you see
Oh, very
that?
cool. It's okay.
And then he had the meaning with them. So he only had
Oh,
like
cool.
20 of them. But when he
Mm.
overheard that I was swag, he's like, "I love your group. Let me give you something." And so he let everybody pick. He's like, "Okay, what kind of person are you?" So he let you pick. I think purple means compassion. So
Okay. I love when people have interactive swag like that where you have
yeah, because he's like, "What's your favorite color?" And then and then he was like, "Yeah." So I thought, and then someone goes, it was his friend goes, "You give her the compassion one or the night. She's nice," or something like that.
Do you remember Santa at Maria's meetup last year? If you were naughty or nice, you had to pick a naughty. You had to put your hand in Santa's bag and get a naughty or nice coin.
So the last thing I wanted to show was that so you don't have to have elaborate swag. I know we're showing like stuff, but it can be something as simple as what I'm giving out this year is little patches. And then I have a little note, and you can put it in a bag or you can put it in this bag, but it doesn't have to be something handmade. It can be stickers as Francesca mentioned. I just wanted to show that it can be something as simple. But these are on my shelf, so I just grabbed them very quickly. And the last thing I wanted to share was one year I made these little poison apples. So
My
because I'm
daughter
the swag
still
witch.
loves hers.
Yeah,
And it
and
went
Gave
my
with
it
a
to her when
cosplay,
she was
right?
dressed as.
yeah, this was actually because it was I'm the swag witch, so I dressed up as a witch, and I purposely had a bunch of these leftovers to give to princesses if I saw them. And one of my favorite stories is I saw Tatiana. Wait,
Tiana.
thank you. I'm like, I always get her name wrong. Princess and the Frog. And then I saw a little tiny little Snow White, and I gave them each an apple. And then later I saw them both sitting discussing their apples to each other.
That's so
So
cute.
that's my favorite memory, is that, oh, I did that. I made a conversation. They probably would have found each other anyway, but I helped. So
No, that's awesome. You facilitated that, you know?
yeah, I'm dead.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so I've got a question for the ladies. Can you share with us one of your favorite memories from Swag and Seek? Let's start with Maria.
I have several, but I'm going to tell a story that makes me look ridiculous. So at the beginning, I think it was 2018, this meme started of, is this swag? And people would post pictures of things like cups and things like that. And I kind of inadvertently started that because I was so excited about seeing swag and finding swag, and I was determined I was going to. So my son and I are walking to the Sheraton to get our badges, and I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, we got to see if there's swag. And I'm legally blind, so that's important. So I see something on top of, I think it was a newspaper holder, and I go to pick it up. And as I picked it up, I realized this is chewed gum.
Oh no.
And I threw it, and my son was cackling. He was laughing the whole time. And so after that, he's like, Mom, you got to tell the group. And then after that, if we saw trash, John would be like, Mom, is that swag? So that's kind of,
We get a
where
lot
that
of that,
started.
just pictures of cigarettes, like burnt cigarettes in planters, and that's become like our main meme. Is this swag? You know, trash is this swag? Sometimes it gets a little, you know, risque too.
Yeah.
Wrappers of certain sorts.
Right. But yeah, but I kind of started that by
Yeah.
being silly.
I love it. I love it. How about you, Francesca?
Well, one of them I just told recently was an example of how our mission kind of reached beyond the scope of con. And there was a woman that was at the convention, and she posted on the Facebook page after that she had brought a specific item home to her father, who she cared for, and he had sort of like a late stage Alzheimer's or dementia. And I also took care of my father for 5 years when he had Alzheimer's until he passed away. So that really touched me. And she had said that she brought him something, and I don't know what the item was. And I'm sorry if she's listening and I don't know her name either, because you'd think this touched me, you know, so deeply that I should have remembered. But I don't. But I do remember that she said that he lit up when he saw this item, and for a moment of clarity he, you know, was happy. And just, you know, thinking of my own father, and just thinking of, oh my gosh, like our activity that we do at our silly little convention went beyond DragonCon and reached this, you know, ailing older gentleman that, you know, gave him a little bit of joy. Somebody's kindness gave him a little joy. And like, that was super meaningful to me to know that like this really does, that pay it forward thing is real, and it keeps going. And, you know, it reached that family and really meant a lot to somebody, even if it was for a fleeting moment for that man. You know, his daughter saw it and experienced that, and it meant a lot to her. I know it did.
Yeah, we have no idea how far it goes.
Exactly.
And that's awesome. Alex, tell us a favorite story.
So one of my favorite stories, I think this was 2019. I was so this was after dark DragonCon. So I was at a room party, and they had, I forget the theme, but and my friend's gonna hit me for not knowing the theme of the room, but they ended up having like block samples of wood, like just samples of wood, and he had like 20 of these just sitting there, and it had something to do with the room, the theme. And one of his friends go, can I have these? Are you doing anything with them? And the guy that was hosting was like, no, what are you gonna do? He's like, I just want to go hand them to drunk people at 2 a.m. in the Marriott. And I was like, I want to help. So so it was me, my partner, and and this other guy, and we went down there, and we were in the Marriott, and so like we said, it was like 2 a.m. I think this was Thursday or Friday morning, one of the, and so we're just walking around, and I see these guys walk by, and I hand them, and one's like, I don't want that, and the other one's like, I'm taking this because a hot person just handed me wood, so I'm gonna walk off with this. That's all I need. A hot girl hand me wood, and I was like, oh. So I was actually having more success handing out the wood than the guys were. And then we had one left, and I saw a Tony Stark cosplayer, and I skipped. I literally just skipped to him, and I turned to him and I go, would you like this block of wood? And he does this huge belly laugh for like a good second, and then he pauses and he goes, yes, I would. And he takes it from me, and then I skip back to my group. And then later I found out from my partner and the other friend, he goes, yeah, our friend wanted to go join you, but I held him back because I was letting you have a moment, because it was hilarious just watching you interact with this Tony Stark. And it was like a Tony Stark, like with the glasses and like the suit and a shirt. I never did find him again. So if you're listening to this, Tony Stark, that was a great memory at 2 a.m. handing a stranger a block.
Giving Tony Stark wood.
Yeah. So there you go. But yes,
I
that
also
is
have
an After Dark story. So there you go.
I want to add
Sure.
the higher ups at DragonCon, especially Regina, who is the director of programming. Swag is what got her to give us the ballroom and to make us part of main programming. She found a swag piece. I think it was a Yoda head that was knitted, and it touched her so much that she contacted us and said, I love your movement, and you're the only fan group that we're doing this for, but we want to give you an official panel. And so we're very grateful to Regina, as well as the person who made that Yoda head, because that's what got us into the DragonCon main programming and to be able to reach out to more people. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Very good. So, a lot of people that are regulars, man, as soon as one DragonCon ends, they're prepping for the next year, right? Because they gotta collect. But they're just now learning about Swag and Seek. They're on the DragonCon unofficial Facebook group. They're just now learning about it. There's no time. Maria, do you have can they still participate if they don't have any swag to bring? How can they
absolutely.
participate?
So the point of our group is to show kindness, and the point of our group is to give to people. And most of the time, it's not a trade. We don't like the word trade, but giving and then giving someone else something back, that's cool. But a lot of times it's seeing someone and being like, here, let me give this to you. And that's what we're about. And so a way that you can spread the message is do something kind. If there's a swag that you're given that's not your thing, maybe go give it to someone else. Or, hold a door open, or tell someone their costume is amazing. Like just any kind of paying it forward with kindness is a
Right.
big deal. Like, hey, let's say you have a couple extra dollars and you want to buy someone a coffee, things like that is really how you spread the kindness. And we want all comers. Like, we want you to come. Even if you don't have anything, don't feel guilty, because that's what we're all about.
Yep. Even just a word of encouragement when somebody gives you something, that'll touch that person, right?
Right.
So this group has grown quite a bit, and there's even an event right in one of the hotel event spaces. And so with such a large group, we do have to do things in an orderly fashion, right? So are there some do's and don'ts to guide us along in Swag and Seek?
I can start with that just because we'll go off of something that Maria just mentioned, which is our trade ban. And I just kind of want to talk about that because it is an important one. And a lot of times people are like, well, why are they so strict with that? Like, of course, we're handing stuff back and forth. You give something to somebody and often they're going to give something back to you. But the reason we are so strict with that rule and that guideline is because it really is the essence of our group to give without the expectation of return, to give without expecting to get anything back. And trade is the definition is the very opposite of that. You're giving to get. And we kind of realized early on that this activity could very easily get out of hand. And it could turn into something, it could turn into the exact opposite of what we wanted it to be. And that would simply happen because people wanted some of these really cool things. And it was sort of, inevitable, I think, without rules and guidelines that people were going to start saying, okay, well, I have this and it seems like everybody wants this thing. So what do you have to give me for it? And it could have quickly turned into like almost a currency at DragonCon. That's like the exact opposite of what we wanted to happen. So that's the reason why we are so strict with that. I know sometimes people get annoyed, we just really ask, especially on the Facebook page, like, please don't use the word, trade. And I think people sometimes are like, why are you picking on us for that? We're not picking on you. We just being strict about that, I think, has really helped us keep our mission going, and it has helped keep our goals the way we want it to be, which is focused only on the kindness of this and not what we can all gain. And it's been working. It's worked for us now for what has it been, 6 or 7 years at this point. And I think that's the evidence, that all the evidence we really need to know that we're doing the right thing by continuing to just say, look, let's be careful with what we call this and how we do this activity, so it doesn't become something kind of like everything else. Everything else costs something, and this isn't supposed to cost anybody anything but maybe their time. And we just really, that's our biggest thing, is besides just being kind to people, is just please do this from the goodness of your own heart.
Yeah.
I
I
can
think that's why it
piggyback.
works. Yeah. Yeah, Maria.
So one of the things that goes along with what Francesca was saying is a lot of people are like, oh, this is high value swag, or my swag's not good enough because it's with stickers. And the big thing that I want people to understand is it has nothing to do with what you put into it or anything like that, the money wise or anything. It's the fact that you're giving. Like, here's an example. This was given to me by an amazing artist. Okay, look how big, look at this. This is amazing.
Mhm.
And this is something that little egg cups that my husband paints to look like a grail. Okay. One
Yes.
costs a lot of money, one costs cheap. Okay. But they are the same. It's like someone giving, say, I only have $10 in my bank account, but I'm going to give $2 to a charity. That's almost a quarter of what I have. Okay, I have $1,000 in my bank account, so I'm going to give $250. That's also a quarter of what you have.
Mhm.
So you're giving what you can, and it's the same. So basically, I want people to understand that the fact that you're giving is what's important. A sticker is going to make someone static. I have seen people just come up and show me, look, I got this cool sticker, or a safety pin with beads, things like that. And, or, a dragon egg. But I just want people to understand that we are just grateful that y'all are continuing our message, because what everyone is doing, no matter what they put into it, is still giving and still showing kindness. And there's no hierarchy. It's not a barter system. It is giving.
Yep. Appreciate you sharing that. And so, along with that, DragonCon has recognized Swag and Seek. So I think there's some guidelines that they've also put out. Alex, you want to touch on some of those?
Sure. So we have some rules that the DC officials have contacted us about. So along with our old rule of no DC logo, no swag, no swag can be the logo without written permission. They also now have asked us no AI art. That's a new rule that DragonCon has. It's not on their website right now. It's on their Facebook page, so you can go check that out. But they so they've asked us also to enforce this rule. So if we can tell if it's AI art, we're not going to allow it on the page. So we just ask that y'all don't hand out these types of items for swag. And then our other one is alcohol. We know DragonCon's really big. I'm very sad about this. We know Dragon because I'm kind of this is my one place where I go to drink is DragonCon. Because I'm a social drinker. So, but yeah, so I'm a little sad about this rule. But so yeah, so they have asked us because there's really it's a security issue. There's really no way for us to be sure if someone is a minor or whatnot. So they're just asking that alcohol not be a swag item. And so that's the new rule this year. And you can see all these guidelines. We have them on our page. So they're pinned at the top of the page. There's a cute little photo with Swaggy, our mascot, and he's looking over at the Atlanta skyline. So you can go look there just to read all these rules in detail. But we just ask you guys to help us out. And then because we don't want DragonCon to come to us and be like, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So we've been here, what, 7 years, guys? So we want to stay. So it really would help us if we can follow these rules. And we also have a couple other rules, but these are the big ones. The DC logo, alcohol, and the new one, which is no AI art.
It just helps us keep in good standing with
Yes.
DragonCon to follow these.
Yep. I understand that. We gotta respect that, stay in good standing with
Yes.
them. And so, there are so many ways to distribute swag, right? So let's talk about some of those ways. One of the ways that my wife and I like to distribute swag is to the hotel staff. I mean, they are in for one crazy weekend, right? And so some of the stuff we will hand out just to the hotel. They don't have a clue, right? But they love swag too. So that's one of the ways we distribute swag. How about you? What are some of your favorite ways to distribute swag?
I'm not
So-
a hider.
What's that?
I don't hide. I'm not a big hider. Like a lot of people love hiding it and then putting, clues or a picture or something on, the Facebook page and having somebody scramble to go. I don't love hiding it. I really probably pass 90% of what I bring out in person. That's just my personal preference. I like meeting people. I like giving it to them and talking to them. That's just.
Yeah. All right. Maria.
I like hiding and then standing back and watching because it's kind of fun to see people get excited.
Yes.
But also I hand out a lot because I'm one of those extroverted introvert. So it's me forcing myself to interact with people.
Mhm.
But it's just a lot of fun to do that. That's my big thing. It's just seeing people's reactions.
Okay. And Alex?
I do both. So I like if it's late at night, then I'll probably be hiding it and just sitting back in an area. One of the favorite things is I love watching my partner who says he doesn't want to do swag, but he'll immediately grab my swag stash and start hiding it all over the con. So I just like watching him interact late at night because it's usually when we've had alcohol. And also I love handing it out, but I usually try to, like I said, with that story of the princesses, I try to match the swag I have with other, with people's cosplays. So if I have something like that, or if I just see that someone would like, but there are times where if I have a swag that's really big or really bulky, I'll just leave it somewhere and see if somebody finds it. Like last year I had these little tortoises that I had like 30 of them. So put notes and hit them around the con. And one of my favorite stories is I put one at the Yule Ball on a table and I kind of like turned around and walked away. And then someone picked it up and was like, oh, and they were like, and then their friend goes, I want that, and handed it to their friend, and because they gave it to their friend, I was like, oh, here, you get something too. So I had something else in my bag. So I just thought it was cute that those little things can make people smile.
Yeah, I love finding stuff out in the wild. But along with hiding, are there some rules our folks need to know about that they should follow regarding hiding swag?
Yes. So we ask that if you're gonna hide, that you not do it in the sky bridges / hamster trails, whatever you call them, the bridges between the hotels. We ask that you don't if you can't play Pokemon Go and can't take a photo in there, you can't hide swag.
Okay.
We may not we may be on the sign, we may not, but it's still a rule, and we ask you not to do that. It's high traffic. We don't want anybody to fall trying to get a sticker that somebody put on a window seal. I've seen it, so let's not do it. We ask not in the elevators. Again, that's another traffic heavy place. And if it's something really high, like ledges or shelves, like if you had to climb to get to it, don't put it there. That's not a good place. So places where you could put swag is if a table's free, or edge of planters. We ask that they not go in the planter. You can put them on the edge of the planter. Please be friendly to the plants. Countertops, benches, and remember, swagging is at your own risk. So if you put something somewhere and janitor staff may pick this up, that is their job. Their job is to keep our space clean. They have 6 days to deal with this.
Yes.
So we politely ask to respect them. They may pick up the swag, so maybe that's not a good place to put it, or just hand it out if you're concerned. And we do ask that swag not start until Thursday morning. We have a lot of people who are very excited, and they'll start hiding swag Wednesday night. Just come to our meetup and you can give it to people there, but we ask not to start hiding until Thursday morning. Ladies, did I forget anything? Anything we need to add?
Tag your swag.
Oh, yeah.
That's the easiest way to make sure that it's not mistaken.
I have a little logo with our logo. This one is advertising another group too, because patches. But that's just an example, and you can put it in a bag.
You can get our logo and I think a standard tag on the Facebook page on our files tab, I believe.
Mhm.
The logo and a kind of rudimentary tag is available for download.
I have one that I made a couple years ago. That's on the page.
Also, if you hand anything out, or actually don't hide anything that's perishable, any kind of food,
Glass.
perfume, soap, anything like that, don't hide it, just hand it out. And also have ingredients on it, because allergies exist.
All right. Very, very helpful. So we're about to finish up. Let's talk about some of the things that you're looking forward to in Swag and Seek. For me, I'm just looking forward to reconnecting with folks in person. Did not make it last year, so it's been a couple years, but I've got friends out there all over the country, Swag and Seek loyals, and I'm looking forward to meeting them again at the meetups. What are you ladies looking forward to? And then any words of wisdom in prepping for this Swag and Seek?
I'm excited to see these two ladies. I mean, we speak to each other probably almost every day between cons. So there's not a long, period of time where we aren't in contact, but we don't, but a few days a year get to actually be in the same spot together. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them. As far as words of wisdom, we always just say, for anybody that's worried that they're not making enough, or that they won't have the things that they need to get done in time, we just say, please don't give more than you can reasonably afford or carry with you. Just do what's comfortable financially, do what's comfortable, physically for you. This should never be a burden. And if it is, then it's time to stop.
All right. Alex, what are you looking forward to? Any words of wisdom?
All right, so this is not a swag and seek related thing. I'm looking forward that this year I have my own hotel room. So I'm looking to have my own space and not sharing it with 5 roommates.
Nice.
So I know that's a silly thing to say, but for that,
You
No.
feel
this
grown
would
up?
be like my 6th DragonCon. Every year I've had a roommate, so I'm like, oh, I have my own space. And another thing is I'm part of a new group, and it's Battle Vest, and so I'm really excited. That's why I have the patches. So I'm really excited to show off. I've been working on a costume, on a outfit, and I have swag with it, so I'm really excited. It's an 80s cartoon themed, and have patches and whatnot. I'll post it on the page probably by the time this video goes up, but I'm really excited about that. Words of wisdom. I'm gonna kind of piggyback what Francesca said about don't take more than you can carry. Personally, I bring a lot of swag, but I leave it in my hotel room, and I take the answer to the universe with me. I take 42 items when I leave my hotel room, and then when I run out, I'm out. And then when I return, because it's Atlanta, I go back to my room to change clothes because it's hot. So I'll restock. So if you're only bringing 200 items, then just pace yourself over the week. If you're, and also if you come to the meetups and you get a lot of stuff, you can also re-gift. So so that's what my sister does. That she doesn't like stuff, so she'll bring items and then she'll re-gift, and she'll keep maybe 5 things from Swag and Seek. And I was like, that's smart. I don't do that. I like the items, but you can do that if you choose to. So that's my little
Okay.
pearl.
All right. Very good. Maria.
So I'm really just looking forward to being around people. Not just my swag family, but like just fellow people who are just so excited about things that I'm excited about, and just want to be together. And it's just so much fun. And I get to spend time with my husband and my son. And it's just something where we can geek out together and not worry about being the weird ones, because we're all the weird ones.
Yeah.
So, and also I'm a costume person. Like I used to do costuming. So being able to see all the things that people come up with is just amazing. And so I look forward to all that too. And I think the best advice I can give is not everyone's going to understand what swag and seek is, and not everyone's going to want swag. So if you go up to someone and say, hey, would you like some swag? And they say no, it has nothing to do with you. It's their own personal preference. They may not understand what's going on. They may think, oh no, are they going to trick me into buying something? Or they're just shy. So don't take it personal. Also, another thing that we need to touch on a little bit is consent. When you're giving something to kids, ask the parents first. Don't put things in people's bags that they don't know about. Ask, always ask, would you like some swag? I have this type of swag, things like that. You don't want to just put something on their cosplay or put something in their bag. You always want to ask and make sure that they're okay with it. And again, if they say no, it's not you. It's them.
Awesome. Well, I cannot wait. And we want to thank everybody for joining this podcast. Hope your answers were answered. But if you do have any questions, hit the Facebook page, Swag and Seek Facebook page. And so we all want to thank you for joining us, and can't wait to see you in end of August, September. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And I don't always go to DragonCon, but when I do, I go to Swag and Seek. Stay thirsty, my friends.
DragonCon Swag and Seek extends a special thank you to DragonCon leadership, including Rachel Reeves, Mandy Collier, Regina Kirby, and Scott Dowell, as well as their generous sponsors, dedicated moderators, and group volunteers. The group administration sends their heartfelt appreciation to all Swag and Seek members who make this movement possible.